I bought the property in 1977, have as much wildlife territory and as many springs as possible to be the guardian thereof. My name is Teddy Tollett. We're here in the pyramid. My original idea was more like a tree house. That's why that third story sleeping porch is up there, because when we got all the rest of it, I said, well, I'm at least going to get what I wanted to begin with before this is over. So the original designer was not pleased. Well, it gets hot around here, as you may have noticed. There's nothing like jumping in that spring water. I grew up in Arizona, and I remember the first time we'd get to the swimming pool in the summertime, and it was like epiphany.
Yeah.
This gives you that on a regular basis, so, and it's just so magical. And I've had a large number of scuba divers here. This is one of the great cave diving places in the world. There's a map right on the stairs there of all the different springs in this neck of the woods, and the cave divers gave that to me last year. Carrie Ann Bada is one of my best friends, and she teaches painting at FSU, and she had a cohort of phenomenally talented students a few years ago. They collaborated and designed that. It's really beautiful every time it gets pressure washed. It's a little overgrown right now. First gallery opened in January of 2002, I believe, with art that I brought back from Cuba. After the Wall Street people stole all the money in 2008, nobody was buying any art, so I started selling shiny rocks, and it turns out people will buy crystals and they will buy art. But I really didn't want to run a business. I was just in it for the fun of collecting art and passing it on to people. So I sold the business to somebody that was involved with it. It's my next door neighbor now. And she still has the crystal portal going there, and I rented a place in a very obscure location in the back alley at Railroad Square, hung my art there, and then put a tiki bar in. Well, the hot tub is really wonderful. I enjoy having my bed next to that 6-foot aquarium. It's a really nice thing to look at last thing at night, sort of like easy meditation, just to watch the peaceful fishies. And then the water is the magic to the whole thing, though. That's why I'm here. And then over the years, I've been able to buy more property. About 3 years ago, I bought all the land between the pyramid and the national forest over there, which included another house and a warehouse and 2 more springs. So it's coming along. Paul used to come out to this neighborhood a lot. A lot of physicists from all over the world came, and I got the chance to get to know and chat with Paul. Great guy. I don't think he was very chatty with his neighbors, but for some reason he would talk to me. We have all the underground water courses flowing through limestone, and so there's not many places in the world that have these. The Spanish call them cenotes, so they're in the Yucatan, but there's not many places in the world where we have these magical places where it's a karst window. Being part of all the underwater exploration, which I think contributes to the conservation of this particular area. 400 of us showed up at the county commission meeting when they wanted to put a huge gas station right over the underwater springs right down the road. If the divers hadn't had all that information that they had, we'd probably have a horrendous gas station down there leaking into our aquifer. I wish growth could be more responsible in Florida. They even did away with the growth management agency entirely some years back. I mean, how crazy is that? And now it's just sort of out of control. And look at Tallahassee. You want to build a tire store or a car wash or a fast food chicken place? No problem. But you want to expand a sweet little local bookstore, then it's a big, big deal. And just in Tallahassee, they put a lot of small businesses out of business because they just can't deal with all the hoops that they make them jump through. But then if you want to do something really destructive or build another of the endless student housing projects, who's going to live in those things, you know? It's not what most of the people in Wakulla County want, but the government doesn't see it that way. So looking at all the variables long ago, I thought this civilization was going to collapse. It's not sustainable. So I thought, the number one thing you have to have if civilization collapses is water. So I've got millions of gallons of fresh spring water every day. I thought things were going to fall apart a long time ago. I don't want them to. I kind of like going to nice restaurants. And just the idea of caring for nature as a steward and not making things worse. The animals need all the help they can get, considering what we've done to the planet, and continue to do as quickly as possible. So, yeah, I like to provide them a refuge, because it's hard to be an animal in this civilization. Just more care for nature and slow down and think about it a little bit. It's hard to replace a tree. It takes a while. All you young people, you're the ones that are going to be the hope for the future. And filmmaking, that's the important part.